here we're going to talk a little bit about our box before it's assembled. We've laid out all of our components before they're bolted together, just to kind of show you some of the features. As you know, K-Tuned is famous for CNC parts. We're a true believer of CNC because CNC means accuracy. And that's how we've been able to build a kick-ass box. So now I'll go over some of the subcomponents. As you know, we based our Billet RSX box around the OE box. We basically looked at the OE box, looked at all the failures, and worked around it to develop our billet box. Billet being a lot stronger than plastic. Plastic, the main problem is on a hard shift, you will break the box, the ball tends to come loose, and there's a lot of play. Where the RSX transmission is a close, tight shifting transmission, you have to get rid of all that play for accuracy and you don't miss shifts. Real quick, I'm going to try to go over our billet box and show you all the features that it has. From this angle, you'll see our side-to-side arm, all billet CNC cut, all aluminum, all stainless. Basically what that allows you to do is to adjust your side-to-side cable selector. When you're looking at the front now, this is where your front cable, that gets you into first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We have made this adjustable. The reason why we made it adjustable is that when you put your cable in, depending on where you're going for a short throw shift, you want to be able to set it perfectly. This allows you to do it. For 2013, we've actually made a nice CNC stainless steel bolt, so there's a less moving around to install your cable and adjust it. One Allen key basically adjusts your angle and you're ready to go. Alright, now we're going to talk about our handle and the adjustability that it has. 2 set screws in the back allows you to adjust the shifter up or down 2 inches from stock. If you want to spin the gooseneck around, you loosen the Allen key. We have a doweled insert that we use to pick up the holes on the inside, and it allows you about 200 different spots for adjustability, so you can spin it right around and bring the shifter closer to you or farther away. A little more about our shifter handle and how it works. As you know, OE box tends to get loose. The reason why it gets loose is the ball starts to wear out. We kind of looked at that. How do we do it so it doesn't wear out? Generally on a swap car or an RSX, guys want to get rid of play in their motor, so they semi-solid their mounts or go to a stiffer durometer, and that increases a lot of vibration, and what that does is it wears on everything. So the system that we came up with basically is a spring-loaded brass insert. It uses 2 brass inserts. So basically when it's sitting installed, it sits like that there, right over like that. It's captured in our box there, and there are 2 set screws underneath the box. Look something like that, and what they do is they put pressure underneath, so as you increase wear on your shifter, and I'm talking over a period of a year you might adjust it, not like weekly, that'll keep it nice and crisp, very smooth. I'll show you here on the box underneath where the set screws are, right there. These are all preset before we shift out the box, so it's nice and tight, nice accurate feel. As you can see, there's no play whatsoever, so it gives you total accuracy. Again, that's why we use CNC machining versus welding. Our billet sidearm is one of the most important pieces here. We try to keep tolerance very, very low. The reason why is when you move your shifter a little bit, you basically want that sidearm to move at the same time. Any kind of play will create a miss shift. So we spend a lot of time developing that part there and keeping it nice and tight. As you can see, we have a CNC cut Delrin bushing which we make in-house. Pretty much the only thing that we farm out on this box other than hardware is the spring, and it's all of our specs that we have the spring made. We use a little stiffer spring than stock, so that it brings it right to the center every time. The reason why we use the OE design for a spring is because everybody uses the OE design because it works and it doesn't fail. When you use something like this here, you're using 2 springs, and what happens when you use 2 springs and one fails, you're in first gear. If the spring fails and you go to 3rd gear, basically it's going to leave it in that location, so you're going to miss shift. So that's why we don't go to that design. That's why OE doesn't use that design, and we stick to this design here. Now that we've gone over all the feature and benefits of our box, I want to talk a little bit about mounting. As you can see, we've done our base plate very similar to OE. The reason why we've done this is there's 2 ways of mounting it. You can use the OE rubber bushing, or you can use a K-tuned billet bushing. The billet bushing allows for minimal movement, recommended in a car with OE mounts, but if you're going with a heavy durometer mount, you want to use the OE bushing. What it does is it gets rid of any vibration in the box, which a lot of the swap cars are using semi-solid mounts or like a Hossport mount with a heavy durometer, and it increases the vibration in the shifter. These are highly recommended to use. As much as I like selling our billet bushings on a car that has semi-solid mounts, I would strongly recommend the OE rubber bushing. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the K-Tuned Billet base. What this allows you to do is to mount it on top of your tunnel of your car. It gives you a lot of clearance so that it'll clear any of the OE metal that might be protruding through. You basically bolt it down with 2 bolts. You can use the stock bolts on the inner side, and then drill 2 holes and it mounts it to the top. Get your box, put your box on top, your choice of bushings, mount it down, and you're ready to go. We're going to talk about our lockout now. This was designed 2 years ago. It was developed around the OE box. When we came out with our billet box, we knew that we had to make something similar to work with our billet box. So basically this is it. What this allows you to do is to basically engage it. When you mount it on the back here, it locks you out from going into your 5th and 6th gear. Some guys don't understand what that's all about, but basically how it works is it allows you to go from 1st, 2nd, push all the way into the 3rd location while being in 2nd, and hammer down, it'll go right into 3rd gear every time. We can say since we've had this product out that there's been less and less guys blowing up on the track because of missed shifts, and this little bad boy has helped it. Okay, we have here our billet box with our lockout installed, set of our race cables on a stock transmission. I'm going to show you here a little bit how it works. Some guys still don't understand how it works, so I'll try to quickly show you. When it's not engaged, this is a barrel there, so when it's not engaged, it allows you to go into 5th gear. When you lock it, basically you can't get into 5th. So when you're shifting, I'll show you on this angle, your 1st, 2nd, push all the way over, 3rd gear, you can't miss. 4th, same thing, you can't miss. If you had it open there, it allows you to go into 5th. So a lot of guys either lose the race because they miss-shift into 5th, or they blow their motor going back into 1st gear. New product for 2013 is our cable stops. We developed these a couple years ago, just finally got around to making them. How they work is you got 2 set screws on the inside. They create a stop on the back of our box here. So what you want to do is you want to install them like this. Use our supplied bolts to tighten them down. After you figured out where your stop is on your cable, where your transmission is in gear and it doesn't want to move anymore, you basically set these so that when you come down and hit, it stops right on the bracket itself. This will get rid of any cable stretch, or it'll damage anything in the transmission as for forks bending. Okay, we're going to show you how our cable stops work. That's them here, already installed, set. Basically how they work is whenever you're shifting back or forth, you're putting a lot of strain on the cable. Last year we developed these really kick-ass cables which work really good, but unfortunately now guys are bending transmission forks. So what we developed is basically a shifter stop. So what it does is after you've set it, when you're in gear, it basically bottoms out. So you can't overshift the gear, you won't damage your cables, and you won't bend the fork. So that's basically how it works. It stops it every time. They're totally adjustable. You basically set the 2 set screws on the bottom, and then you tighten these guys down, and that's it. You're ready to rock. Last but not least is our shift knob. It really doesn't have anything to do with our billet box, but we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about how we make it, how it was developed. The whole reason behind it was getting a good weight so that when you basically have a good shift so it doesn't spring back and forth if it's too heavy. So we came up with a good weight for it. The other big problem that a lot of racers have is slipping. So the way we produce our billet knob is it's basically CNC cut. We send it out for anodizing, it comes back, it goes on a 4-axis lathe, and all the grooves that you see in there are CNC cut, so they give you a nice grip. So you can basically, on any shift, you'll be able to accurately grab it, it won't slip because of the cuts that we cut out into it. I hope this video helped with any questions you might have with our Billet RSX box. Any more questions, feel free to send us an email or call us at K-Tuned. Thank you.